Hey everyone, welcome to this next session on Anubhav Learning Series. Our today's topic is Eclipse versus HANA Studio versus WebIDE. Which one to choose, which one to not choose, when to use which option. Many of you who are working on variety of technologies like SAP Wi-Fi and Fiori development, SAP HANA native development, SAP ABAP development, or probably another programming language development like Java or Node.js. You have asked me, Anubhav, what is the difference between this Eclipse, HANA Studio, and WebIDE? And also, in which case we can use which one? As you can see this picture also depicting the purpose of Eclipse, we will be having a deep dive and discussing on how they are different from each other and what should be the good practice in the cases and where to use them. So let's get started. So I would want to relate this with a very simple process of pizza making. So just imagine you want to make a pizza. What is that you would need? The very first thing is something called a pizza dough, the base of the pizza. Now, as you can see, there are different flavors in which the base is available. You can have a thin crust, you can have a wheat dough, you can have a corn flour dough. So there are variety of doughs available, variety of breads available. You can go with these options. Now consider this base as your Eclipse. Eclipse is a open source tool which is available for free as part of eclipse.org. Anybody can use this tool as it is. Plus, on top, you can download Eclipse source code, modify, and release your own Eclipse. Eclipse also evolved over a period of time. The second misconception, which is very often I see those who are from above background, is that is Eclipse means Java. No, guys. It is just a development tool like your SE38 transaction code or SE80 transaction code. It is just a development tool which you can install in your local computer. The prerequisite to install this is JDK 1.8 and above, which we typically use these days. And then you can start developing different variety of application. Yes, primarily it is used for web application development, websites and all, and also probably Java development. But it is not Java. Eclipse is just a development tool. In fact, you can use Eclipse to develop an Android application as well. So please understand, this is your base. It's free and it is open source. Now, the evolution of Eclipse has happened typically in the form of planets. So initially they used to release these versions with the name of planets. So the oldest version which I have worked was Eclipse. It was called Eclipse Juno. After that, we have got Eclipse Kepler. Then we have got Eclipse Mars. We have got Eclipse Oxygen, Eclipse Neon, and then right now, the latest version is called Eclipse Photon, released in 2019. By the time you're watching the video, probably there is another version available, which you probably would see on eclipse.org. So it's an open source and absolutely free tool. That is why it got so popular and people across or developers across the world have started using this. Yeah, this is the best part of something being an open source. People get adapt to it very fast. This was a very powerful development tool. Now, what companies have thought and done, they build their strategy around Eclipse, because every company who is having their own programming language or some kind of development effort, they would want to use a technology which is readily available. People are used to it. Most of the developers have worked on it, seen it. That is what they want to also adopt and stick themselves to the industry standard. And that is why when SAP released SAP HANA, they chose Eclipse as their primary focus tool to deliver also a tool which can be used for HANA development. So what they've done, they've downloaded this Eclipse Mars source code completely, and they modified the source code of Eclipse and made another flavor of Eclipse, which is also called HANA Studio. So it's just a flavor. So like pizza, the base is same, and then on top of it you can have variety of flavored variants. Somebody will go for extra merguez, somebody would go for double cheese, somebody would go for maybe seasons vegetable, somebody would go for pepperoni pizza, somebody would go for pepper paneer, fried paneer pizza, somebody would go for chickens, somebody would go maybe for corn pizza, baby corn pizza. So there are different flavor variants of pizzas which different companies or different brands would offer you, but the dough remains the same. Yeah, so that's where they have a modified version of Eclipse, which companies have offered. So SAP have downloaded the Eclipse Mars code, modified it, and made it something called a HANA Studio. So it's a modified version of Eclipse, but since SAP has done a lot of research and development on top of it, they have not made it or made it released or made it available for public use somewhere. Yeah. So you can download SAP HANA Studio from Service Marketplace and you can start use for SAP HANA development. However, even the base Eclipse can be utilized for HANA development. Yes, I will show you what is that technique which you can use. So it's not mandatory to have HANA Studio to develop HANA native applications or HANA related objects like views which you typically develop. Then comes is STS, another very powerful tool which is built on top of Eclipse, a modified version of Eclipse by Pivotal company. And this is mainly used, those who work on Java development, you must be aware of this icon. It's called Spring Tool Suite, which is mainly used for building Spring applications, Spring MVC, Spring Boot applications. And there's also a very popular IDE called IntelliJ. They have also modified Eclipse and then they made another IDE on top called IntelliJ, which is also available in Community Edition and also the Productive Professional Edition, which is chargeable. So you can also, if you know how to do programming, then probably can download the source code of Eclipse and build your own Eclipse with your own name and publish it in the market. Maybe, who knows, people will start paying you for your customized or modified version of Eclipse. Just to show you once again quickly in the system, I'll switch to my SAP system and you can see here we have HANA Studio. So when you start HANA Studio, you would actually see a screen which will give you a feel that it's actually an SAP product, yeah. But if you just quickly go on the help and say about HANA Studio, you would find that it's actually comes under the Apache Org license and it is having those icons of Eclipse. You can see this Eclipse icon, eclipse.org, because the base of this is actually an Eclipse. Okay, it's a modified Eclipse, dedicatedly built initially for the purpose of developing HANA applications. That's why you have here some perspectives always. So you see there's a perspective called HANA development perspective, which we typically use for doing native HANA development. Always we can use it. But and then you can add a HANA server, do all the HANA native development. So some people have myth that HANA Studio can only be used for developing HANA applications. No, you can also build Java application. Why not? It's an Eclipse. So if you come here, I can choose Java perspective and I can start creating a Java application, a Java project here. You see Java project. And of course, as we all know, main.js main function with no argument, difficult. Typically, we can build that Java application also. Yeah. So this is what exactly HANA Studio is. It's a modified version of Eclipse. Yeah. Now, if you also go to Eclipse, you can also do HANA development using Eclipse. Then you say, Anubhav, why do we need HANA Studio? Then HANA Studio actually gives you extra features, like you have a visualization feature where you can visualize the data in form of charts and all. That's an extra feature it offers. But if you talk about the core development of HANA, you can also do it just with Eclipse. But simply you cannot do, just by downloading Eclipse you cannot. You need to add extra toppings to it. Just like we add more flavors by adding extra toppings, to the pizza. You can add extra toppings as chili flakes, oregano, black olives, a lot of these different things you can add up. Similarly, an Eclipse can have extra tools installed. So my favorite tool is ADT, ABAP Development Tools in Eclipse. It can be installed not just on any of the Eclipse, but it can be installed on HANA Studio. And that's what I did. If you have a HANA Studio, you can also install an extra topping, and that's what we do here in the help system. Help, go to help, install new software, and anything related to SAP, you can always go with https tools.hana.ondemand.com slash, and now since it's a modified one for Mars, I can just go to Mars, and now you would see here the list of tools which SAP offers you, which you can install in the HANA Studio. Because it is Eclipse, you can do the same thing in this Eclipse. I have a local installation of Eclipse Oxygen. Do the same thing here, go here, install new software, again enter the same URL, tools.hana.ondemand. And since I'm using Oxygen, I go with Oxygen. And now you see these tools again. So absolutely same interface, same behavior. It is Eclipse actually everywhere. And now I can also choose here in my normal Eclipse, which is an Oxygen Eclipse, HANA Development Tools. Yeah. I can use them. I can say, hey, please, I want to develop HANA Development. I want to use HANA Development Tools for HANA Development. Yeah, that's the beauty of using this option. So you see a lot of these tools, you can install them and you can get started with them and get them added to your Eclipse, and then you can develop. In fact, now if I go to HANA Studio, here I have a tool called ABAP Development Tools for NetWeaver. I can choose this next, and finish the installation. And then when I come back to my HANA Studio, on the top right corner, as in Eclipse, we have open perspective. And I have an ABAP perspective even in HANA Studio added. And now I can start adding my ABAP project and also do ABAP development here in HANA Studio. I can add my system and I can then just get started with the development. So that's the beauty, guys, which we can leverage the power of Eclipse over here, right? So now you see we have ABAP perspective, we have HANA development perspective, and I can do all variety, including Java development also, including if I would want an Android development, then of course I will add more toppings. I will go help and say, please install new software, and I will give them an update site for Android. I'm not aware of it, but yes, we can give that then, and then I can install more toppings like Android development tools, and then I can go to perspective for Android development, and then I get those features for Android development as well. Both, even in my local Eclipse, which I have Eclipse Oxygen here, I can do that. So that's the main advantage, guys. It can have multiple flavors added on top, which will help you to do dedicated development accordingly. Very interesting. So you can have further tools like doing special web development. You can have HANA Cloud tools, HANA Cloud integration tools for HANA Cloud platform related development in local Eclipse, and then directly deploy your app from here, Eclipse to SAP Cloud Platform with new environment. You have HANA development tools, you have Android developer tools. So all these can be installed on top of Eclipse or on top of HANA Studio, STS or IntelliJ for your development. So I hope this makes it clear that actually HANA Studio, first question was, HANA Studio, can I use it for ABAP development? Yes, why not? Not just ABAP, but you can also use it for Java development because it's a modified version of Eclipse, yeah, by SAP. And also you can use Eclipse, base Eclipse, and install, ignore about this middle layer, install directly these tools to do ABAP development, or directly the HANA tools to do HANA development on Eclipse directly. This is also possible. You don't need HANA Studio to do HANA development. You just need Eclipse. So get your Eclipse installed from eclipse.org, and do let me know your thoughts and comments. Still you have confusion, so feel free to come back to me. You know my address. It's onlinefioritrainings.com. You can also drop an email to us on install.abap@gmail.com. Feel free to write down your comments here in the comment box below the video. I will also drop you the link of my website on the description of this video. You can click and then navigate and find out the right courses, right technical courses for your knowledge. Now, one last topic is about WebIDE. As the name suggests, web, which means now this is a new world, new paradigm we are going. So guys, if you want to use HANA Studio or Eclipse, you have to install it in your local machine. Yeah, you need to download or you need to install in your system, which means you need a hardware to do that, to use it actually. Yeah, it takes some memory in your system. The file takes some memory in your system which you create. Everything remains in your local machine. It's like an on-premise world. But when it comes to WebIDE, the web-based development tool, you don't need to install anything. Most of you already have the browser installed in your system. You can simply go web-based development actually. Okay, that's the main advantage of WebIDE. WebIDE means it's a development tool which runs on the web. Yeah. And yeah, so this is the main advantage of WebIDE, which we can utilize and the benefit out of it. And you can directly have this benefit consumed by going to cloud platform. So we are talking in context of SAP, of course, guys. So definitely my talk will be also with regard to SAP only. So in the world of SAP, we use now this SAP cloud platform where we have this web IDE available. So you don't have to install anything now in your computer. How beautiful is that, right? I don't have to download any file. I don't have to spend my time on installation. It is as simple as like, you take a subscription of something. Yeah? You just take a subscription and now you have it readily available for you. So let me just go and connect to my cloudplatform.sap.com. And here I have a cloud platform account created, the trial account in Neo created, and now I can go to services, and now I can go ahead and search here something called web. This is the tool which I was talking about, the web IDE. This is the future of tooling, guys. People are not interested to download and install tools in their own system. Rather, they would want to use it like as a service. So now the web IDE is a development tool as a service, which runs completely into the browser and does not need any installation in your local machine. Yeah, that's the beauty of SAP Web IDE. And now you see it's launching up, and I can now create a multi-module project here where I can have a little bit of Java development, a UI5 development, and Node.js development. Of course, right now I cannot do the ABAP development here, but yes, all the other module developments I can do it with the Cloud Foundry environment. I especially mainly use right now for SAP UI5 Fiori development, but yes, there is an opportunity here to create a project from template. And if I go with the Cloud Foundry, then I can create here a multi-module project. Yeah, it's possible to create a multi-module project, multi-target application project, where I can do native HANA development. So I can do HANA, I can do Java and Node.js. And of course, SAP Fiori, Node and UI5. All these types of development can be done in a single project. Of course, I will create more videos about this in future. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you don't want to miss that action which will happen in future. So you will get notified, you will get those videos in your inbox if you subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell icon here, which is very important. And now just to say multi-module project. So finish. And then I can get started and adding here a Java module or a Node.js module or a SAP UI module. So I can right click and say add new. And now you see here HANA database module, Node.js module, HTML5 module, in Java module. Yeah, so this is the beauty of Web IDE. So mainly this is the advantage of this web-based tooling. And you saw just now that I didn't download anything, I didn't install anything in my system. I simply went to cloudplatform.sap.com, logged in into my account, go to the cockpit from their services and search for the Web IDE service. And then I have my development tool up and running in my browser. I don't have any local installation. All the files which are stored are also not need to be stored in my local system. They are stored in the cloud somewhere in SAP Cloud Platform. So this is completely a development service offered in the cloud. I can utilize. This is my WebIDE. If you want to know more on WebIDE, feel free to go to my YouTube channel and learn about how to get started with SAP WebIDE. If you are new to SAP UI5 Fiori development, I would highly recommend you to go to my channel Anubhav Oberoi, and there you look forward for a video on how to get started on WebIDE. So this is the learning university for all of you to get you the latest cutting edge knowledge, starting from scratch, from very basics, from ground level to all the advanced level. You can learn everything under one single hood, with the same pattern of teaching. So a lot of free videos available. Of course, the detailed course is for every technology is available on our website, which is online fioritrainings.com. But yes, definitely you can see a lot of interesting videos here. So those who want to know more about SAP WebIDE, how to get started, I would recommend you. I will also leave the description of that video here uh, in this particular video. So you will find that. So here you will see WebIDE full stack, or also if you want to get started with WebIDE personal edition. I will leave the description. I will leave the video link into the description of this video. You can go ahead and check it. But just to show you, there is a video on getting started with WebIDE personal edition. Yes, this is the one, how to getting started with WebIDE for SAP Fiori development. Please feel free to watch this video. Of course, you can find the link into the description of my current video. So with that, thank you so much again, patiently listening to me on this video. I hope you enjoyed it and this clarified your concerns about, especially between Eclipse and HANA Studio. It made it little clear for you today that yes, you can use HANA Studio for ABAP development and vice versa, that Eclipse can also be used for HANA development, provided you have a valid connection to an SAP system, an ABAP system, as well as a HANA system. And in fact, the purpose of WebIDE, the web development environment, the benefits of web-based tooling, no need for local installation, directly can get started with web. If you have more questions, feel free to drop them here in the comment box below in this video, and I would make sure that I would get you the right answers for the same. Thank you so much once again, and then I'll see you in the next video, and good.